Fever at number 5. That feels like a shot to the heart.
So the WNBA media it's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. There's no way the Fever did not get better than one team that were better than last year.
They did it again. That's what fans across the country are saying after the WNBA just took another blatant shot at Caitlin Clark.
The Indiana Fever made with Caitlin Clark's presence on the court is undeniable.
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy.
She's not just a rookie, she's the biggest name in women's basketball right now. Selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and bringing millions of new eyes to the league. Yet somehow the WNBA keeps acting like she's the problem.
So you're basically saying the Fever are going to be in the exact same position as they were last year.
Today, just minutes ago, we saw another move that screams disrespect. And whether it's jealousy, politics, or plain old hate, one thing is clear. They don't want Caitlin Clark to win. Let's break down exactly what happened, why the league seems to keep coming at her, and what it really says about the WNBA's mindset right now.
Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark have done and said the same things. They're both really good people and they both want to promote the game. But they are promoting Paige Beckers for saying exactly what Caitlin Clark has said plenty of times.
Let's start with what just dropped, the WNBA's preseason power rankings. And I'm just going to say it. The disrespect towards Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever is getting ridiculous. They have the Fever ranked 5th.
I think that the Fever have so much going for them that it's going to be hard to say you only improved this much. Not buying it.
Behind teams that straight up got worse, and if you actually watched last season, if you paid attention to preseason, roster moves, coaching upgrades, then you know this is not about basketball. This is about sending a message, and it's not a good one. Here's the truth.
I feel like one of the biggest things in that area was just getting to know and getting to play with Caitlin. I think Caitlin plays such a fast-paced game, and for me, I feel like the year before that, it wasn't as fast, and then coming in kind of having that same expectation of the way that we played the year before, and then coming in and Caitlin loves to play really fast, so I think that was definitely the adjustment. But, I think knowing that and having that mindset just helped in the offseason because I know exactly where I need to be.
When it suits them, Aaliyah Boston, the South Carolina fans don't even treat Aaliyah Boston like she's a alum just because she happens to play for the Indiana Fever and doesn't call out the fan base all the time.
Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are one of the most exciting young duos in the league. They brought in veterans with championship experience, they've got better coaching, and they've made serious roster upgrades. This team is objectively better than the one that finished last season, and that team was already taking steps forward.
The Fever at 5, though. How are the Storm over the Fever?
The Indiana Fever at number 5. That feels like a shot to the heart. The Fever can finish anywhere, 5 on the low side. I think this team offensively is going to be dynamic and spectacular. I've got them at the number 2 seed, just blindly eyes closed if the schedule doesn't break their way.
So what's the logic behind ranking them 5th? Especially behind a team like the Seattle Storm, who literally lost key pieces, had players go down with injuries, and fell apart at the end of last year.
We just saw somebody basically say that they were scared to go to Iowa. And are these people not embarrassed saying that? Is Aja Wilson has said it as well about Indiana. Is Aja Wilson not embarrassed? Because the vast majority of fans that go to Caitlin Clark game.
You want to rank the Aces high? Fine. You want to keep the Liberty and Lynx at the top? Sure, they earned that. But putting the Storm above the Fever? That's not basketball analysis. That's bias. That's agenda pushing.
Something that I think is absolutely disgusting. And again, this isn't exactly WNBA media. However, it is the side when they're like it's the activist league people that in fact are doing the opposite. All these networks, all these publications, all these things in media, you got to be smart.
It's like the league and some in the media are going out of their way to downplay Caitlin Clark's impact, pretending like she hasn't already shifted the entire landscape of women's basketball. Whether it's ticket sales, jersey sales, media attention, or TV ratings, the numbers don't lie. She's the draw. And instead of embracing that and building momentum, the WNBA seems more interested in controlling the narrative. And that narrative doesn't include giving Caitlin Clark or the Fever their rightful respect.
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy.
Oh, shocked me. I mean, I didn't know what the percentage breakdown of Fever gear and Iowa gear would be, but it felt pretty equal. But I just didn't know what to expect, so that was fun to see.
Now let's talk about the media, because what's happening there is just as bad, if not worse. We just saw it again. As soon as Caitlin Clark's MVP odds moved to the top, certain media voices couldn't wait to pounce. One reporter, who by the way works with NCAA coverage, went from saying it was disrespectful that A'ja Wilson wasn't a unanimous MVP to turning around and calling it disrespectful that Caitlin Clark was even ranked equal in the MVP race.
The main thing is the sport of basketball and growing the sport of basketball. That has to be a prerequisite for future hires, because I'm never going to say someone should be fired. I know other people are going to go out and say that, but I don't feel comfortable going out on the internet saying that. All I'm going to say is there's going to be so many people losing their jobs.
Wait, what? So it's disrespectful to acknowledge Clark, but not to dismiss her completely? These people are showing their bias loud and clear. And trust me, fans are noticing. It's not just about MVP odds either. It's this double standard that keeps showing up again and again.
Honestly, I was really excited to just get out there and play, and especially getting to do it for the first time this season in front of these fans was really cool for myself. And just seeing the amount of people, young girls and young boys that stand there and scream for me to sign their stuff, I don't take that for granted. That's so cool. I would be lying to you if I thought that was just normal and everybody gets to do that. They don't. So I'm glad I can be a role model for them, and they have a great impact on me too.
When Paige Bucher says something powerful about uplifting Black women in basketball, the media rightfully celebrates it. But when Caitlin Clark says the exact same thing, she's ignored, or worse, twisted into some kind of villain. Why? Because there's a clear push to turn her into a target, to paint her as the problem, the outsider who doesn't belong. And that's where it gets dangerous, because Caitlin Clark has done nothing but elevate the game, support her teammates, respect her opponents, and bring more eyes to the WNBA than anyone else in years. Yet the moment she becomes the face of women's basketball, the hate kicks in. People with platforms, people who claim to love the game, start acting like she's a threat, not an asset.
However, instead of,
the
actual media promoting those players,
about the game itself.
They're going to promote Paige
They're more
saying
interested
they should
in pushing
promote the players more.
Stirring drama.
Why?
And gatekeeping
Because
a sport that
if Paige
desperately
Beckers
needs
can
more
be seen
fans,
as
more exposure,
the
and
savior,
more support.
then
Caitlin Clark brings all of that. But instead of welcoming it, they treat her like an enemy. But it's not just the media. What's worse, and honestly more disappointing, is the silence from within the league itself. Let's take a step back.
something that I think is absolutely disgusting. And again, this isn't exactly WNBA media. However, it is the side when they're like it's the activist league people that in fact are doing the opposite. All these networks, all these publications, all these things in media, you got to be smart.
Remember the reaction when Antonio Brown posted disgusting, leaked images of Caitlin Clark? That should have been universally condemned. Every major figure in the WNBA and women's sports should have spoken out in support of her. But what happened? Crickets. And it gets even more hypocritical when you realize some of these same people
obviously is working with college sports and right now has since privated their Twitter and made sure nobody knows where they work. Because I think so many people in women's basketball media are going to lose their jobs because they have Twitter fingers.
People like Dawn Staley still follow Antonio Brown. Fans asked her about it. What did she do? Blocked them. She didn't unfollow. She didn't speak out. She just shut it down and moved on.
I mean, he was arrested for a pretty bad... I don't know anything more about that, but there was the whole news thing about the guy getting arrested for a pretty bad crime. And Dawn Staley does not care. And anyone who mentions to Dawn Staley gets blocked.
How can you call yourself a leader in women's basketball? Someone who's supposed to uplift and protect young women in the sport and stay silent on something like that? And then, in the same breath, you have people in the media and around the league who will jump down Caitlin Clark's throat for something as small as being associated with someone they don't like. There's no grace, no benefit of the doubt, just instant outrage. It's a two-faced system. When it's someone they like, it's silence or spin. When it's Caitlin Clark, it's war. And here's the bottom line. Caitlin hasn't done anything wrong. She's not out here starting drama. She's not trash-talking the league. She's playing the game, respecting her teammates, showing up for her fans, and performing under immense pressure, all while being the face of a growing movement. So where is the league's support? Where's the leadership? Where are the players stepping up to say, hey, we may have our rivalries, but we've got her back when it comes to basic respect? Nowhere. And that silence speaks volumes.
You can see with your eyes that what they're saying is wrong, but they're going to continue to push it. They're going to continue to push it. They're going to continue to push to try make this 23-year-old woman now.
Caitlin Clark deserves better, not just because she's a star, not just because she's breaking records, but because she's doing everything right for the game of basketball.
They're going to promote Paige Beckers, as some say. Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark have done and said the same things. They're both really good people and they both want to promote the game. But they are promoting Paige Beckers for saying exactly what Caitlin Clark has said plenty of times.
She's showing up, she's elevating the sport, and she's inspiring an entirely new generation of fans.
Cece, one word to describe today.
Only one word. Unreal.
Because she was posting negative things about the Sky. And I mean, she was posting things like free agents don't want to go there because of their facilities, and Satu Sabali did not want to go to Chicago Sky.
But instead of celebrating that, parts of the WNBA and the media are trying to tear her down, to control the spotlight, to push their own narratives, and to make sure she doesn't get the credit she's earned. It's jealousy, it's politics, it's gatekeeping, and honestly, it's embarrassing. This league has an opportunity to grow like never before, to bring in new fans, to reach new heights, and Caitlin Clark is at the center of that. But if the people running the show keep acting like this, if they keep disrespecting her, if they keep letting media hypocrisy slide, and if they keep staying silent when she's targeted, they're going to lose everything she's bringing to the table.
The fact that you're seeing people in the media calling out everyone that's even close to a player they don't like.
So to the WNBA, to the media, to the haters, wake up. You don't have to love her, but you better start respecting her, because the fans already do. And we're not blind. We see what's going on. If you're tired of the fake media and want real talk on Caitlin Clark and women's basketball, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We're just getting started.